Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. This is our Beast Tamer Bard build, episode 129. And we came to this ravaged longhouse and found some tiles and a nice little chest piece. It was a fun time all around. So yeah, is what it is. I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna risk, because I don't think there's anything going on here. So I don't know what the purpose of this is.
Let's see what we can do.
It literally just like saves you the trouble of going around. I guess, you know what, it would make more sense if this place was like covered with enemies or something like that. It was like, oh, sneak down here and then sneak into the well, but there's no one here. So like I don't really know what's up with that. Maybe depending on when you come here, there are things here. Maybe the time of day or something like that. I don't know. But either way, now is not that time. Okay, we are going to head down to the burned shack. I think this is just reagents. Caustic mode, elemental essence, sweet wine, and flour. Very good, very good. And now we're interested in heading to the befouled barrow. Which looks like we come down and head over. Let's see. We're gonna go look up here, I think. See if we can get there. Wow, that was really far. Huh. Interesting. Not quite what I expected there. Here are ye. Here are ye. We're good to go there. What do we got going on? Decrees. Strengthening the chain of command. The war wears soldiers down and defeatist attitudes sink in. In order to reinforce the discipline, the commander's staff council must look for new solutions. Let's fucking do it. Okay, we're gonna head over to the befouled barrow. Ooh, knapsack on a tree. Okay, that's probably stuff we can get. See if we can sneak on over there. Hey, yeah. All right, sure, we'll rest. Might as well.
Good night, Arushale. I hope you have a dream tonight. Any dream.
Wow. That's really struggling there. Nice. Okay, I guess we're heading down to this demon army. Alright. Chain of command of the Crusade has been strengthened. Staff Council requests that the Crusade leader attend their meeting. Plan. The arrival of Yaker Unkel. We got stuff piling back up at home, so... I have to do that probably sooner rather than later. But I wanna... We ran all the way down here. I wanna do stuff down here. I want to adventure before we do anything else. Was something... Oh, right. I did want to check this, though. I want to go check... Right, supply centers everywhere. And then maybe the idea of inns. We either want inns or we want something else in Dresden. Not sure which we are going for at this current point in time. Plus 10 energy, don't really care about that. Increased HP would be pretty nice. Stacy would be pretty nice. Citadel, that, yeah, sure, kind of whatever. Cost of recruiting mercenaries. We've talked about doing that. Because getting mercs is, they're fucking expensive, but they're kind of like one of the ways that we get good troops. So increased hospital sizes, pretty interesting. More mercs would also be interesting. I think we go for cheaper mercs before we go for more mercs. I think we will go for Hall of Glory. It's like a pretty logical to grab. I don't remember how much an inn costs. Let's see an inn. As an option in Dresden. 180. Sounds good. Connection dropped off. You had no idea city construction was part of this. Yeah, it's very minor, right? But each of... So you have Dresden, your main base, and you can build quite a bit in Dresden. You know, you have quite a few spaces to build in, you have quite a few options, but it's mostly just things related to the Crusade management, so getting new types of units and buffing them and getting more points, etc., etc. Is the main focus. Although we did get, like, so for example, we have a teleportation circle in Dresden, and that allows our main party to teleport back to Dresden from anywhere on the map, so that's super useful. And then each of these little outposts can kind of be, you know, fixed up as well. And I haven't gotten to it yet, but you can... Where is it? This. outpost to bastion expansion. So you can take an outpost and increase the overall strength or size of it, I suppose. There's also buildings specific to mythic paths. I assume the further that we go in, the more involved that system will become. You know, we're just kind of like, honestly, we're still pretty early in the game. I believe so. Also, how's it going, Chris? How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. I'm suspicious of the name. So yeah, we're gonna pop into the befouled barrows. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, text event. Iridescent streaks appear in the bilious violet sky above the deserted lands. Looks like Act 3, so we're about 40% of the way through the game. Farther than I thought. The streaks are not like an ordinary Golarion rainbow. They look more like oil dropped in water. The sweltering haze in the sky seems to waver along with the streaks. Time and again, one of the commander's party spots some movement out of the corner of their eye and reaches for their weapon, only to immediately realize they were mistaken. The ground underfoot turns a muddy gray, covered in a dense layer of ash expelled by geysers. Curious natural phenomena, not uncommon in these parts. In the distance, barrows can be seen, appearing only as vague piles of rocks in the haze. The wind whips clouds of ash into the faces of the commander and his party. Along with the ash, the wind ushers in ragged gray clouds that shroud the sky. A giant eye of cloud, unblinking, watches the commander and his party from above. One can only imagine how insignificant the creatures struggling across the land must seem from such a height. In a break in the clouds, the white of the sky's eye pulses, ready to burst like a boil. The dark cloud of the pupil grows blacker still. The commander decides to... We have very good perception. The only way we can fail that is if we roll a 1. But we also have pretty good knowledge. So, either way, we only fail if we roll a 1. So let's try the world, because it's character specific to us. Success! Kajak recalls conversations with seasoned Crusaders. If a giant eye appears in the sky, you must run and not look back. According to witnesses, what follows such an omen is so horrific that it can rob a newcomer to the world wound of their sanity. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Wow, and we can fail this one, because our mobility, one, it's a higher check, and our mobility is not as good. I still kind of want to do this, though, even though we are, you know, risking... Okay, so it's the same thing. Arushale observes that in this cloud, the ordinary storm clouds cannot coalesce into clear shapes. The air throbs with peril. This is no mere storm. What's brewing is something brought by the abyss and possible only in the wound. And the rest of it is the same. So, okay, let's bring fingers crossed. Roll above a 10. Hey, we succeeded. Living creatures can be beaten, but one cannot conquer a force of nature. Tell that to druids. Tell that to fucking druids. The commander decides to run for cover. The party manages to reach the barrows before the storm swells to its full force. Something suddenly drops from the sky, landing with a splat at the commander's feet like an overripe fruit. It is white, about the size of a chestnut. It has a dark center, and the longer the commander stares at it, the more it seems like something is staring back. The fruit looks disturbingly like an eyeball. The whirlwind of ash stops. The whirlwind of ash stops the party from looking up to see what is happening in the sky. Perhaps a carrion bird was transporting its already rotting prize home. At least, that's what all the companions are hoping as they cluster around the milky white eyeball. A second eyeball lands nearby with an unpleasant squelch, leaving only a bloody splash on the ash-covered ground. 2 eyeballs cannot be a coincidence. The looming rocky ledges, which give the Barrow the appearance of a hill, look like they could come crashing down on the party's heads at any moment. However, they do offer protection from the storm. The horrific hail misses the party almost entirely, and eyeballs land around them in a wet cacophony. Ugh! Ugh! Okay. Oh my goodness. The land around the Barrows looks more like a dumping ground than a burial ground. These storms have bleached skulls and bones, rusted armor, and dented swords. This is a familiar sight. More surprising are the arms and legs of golems scattered around the waste, the once snarling faces of animals that now lack all resemblance to their living brethren, things that look like horse carcasses but with broken mechanical legs. Everything is brown with rust and long forgotten. A battle was fought here once. Through the veil of ash, the party struggles to find the entrance to the Barrow. I mean, any of these should be fine. We haven't done Knowledge Arcana in a while, and we should, again, as long as we don't critically fail, we should be good. So, yeah. Kajak senses the traces of generations upon generations of Sarkorians performing rituals between and inside the burial mounds to grant their ancestors peaceful slumber. The magical signature unerringly leads him to the entrance. An ash-darkened piece of the casing that covers it crumbles under the slightest pressure. The mouth of the Barrow is cool and smells of damp and dust. More of the ash lies underfoot, pressed into a glossy, slippery crust. It is clear that the Barrow has been constructed above a cave system, the deliberately carved-out corridors stretching off into the Barrow's depths leave room for natural passageways. The wind, wailing through the stalagmites in the dark, carries a strange sound, similar to a desperate human cry. Help! Help! The party strains to hear and decides to... well, we can try. Try to lure it up. Success! Wow. The longer Sela listens, the more the voice changes. One moment it sounds like the desperate cry of a child, the next the piercing, ragged scream of a woman, the next birdsong. It cannot be ruled out that she is hearing only what she wants to hear. Fuck that, we're going towards the voice. I am almost always the point of tabletop RPGs is adventure. So let's run towards the adventure, not hide away from it. Jack cannot ignore the cries for help. The party rushes towards the sound, frequently looking around for enemies or traps. A strange thing. The closer they get to the voice, the less distinct the pleas become, blurring into the grinding screech of a rusty mechanism. The only passage leading further into the Barrow finishes in a dead end. A spacious cave, its walls decorated in frescoes that have almost entirely faded over time. Before the companions have a chance to decide whether to look for a door or turn back, the cave floor, which seemed solid with well-trodden ash, vibrates and begins to ripple like water. One after another, the commander's companions are sucked into the thick, ashy mass they have stepped into quicksand. 22, 21. Let's assess the situation. So this is kind of unfortunate, right? Like, our highest mobility and athletics characters are actually our animal companions, but it's not letting us utilize their checks, which is kind of sad, but is what it is. Let's assess the situation. The party understands that panicking is pointless. Assessing the situation and formulating a plan of action is much more useful. When they stop struggling, they notice that the quick ash seems to loosen its grip in turn. Below, they can hear strange noises like grinding metal. Could there be a mechanism drawing the quick ash downward? The exit from the cave is still too high up, and now the party have only one route out. Down. What could be making the noise? Maybe it's all of the above, just several different ghosts making that noise? Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, I kind of, after reading this, I kind of don't even want to try these things. I kind of want to just dive down. Closing his eyes tight, the commander takes a deep breath and dives. Yes! What is going on down here? The Quagmire's resistance vanishes as expected. The commander opens his eyes, sensing that he is in freefall. Through the gloom, he sees a spear sticking out parallel to the ground. He manages to grab hold of the wood and hang suspended from it. Suddenly, everything jolts into action. Dozens of daggers, saws, swords, and spears spring out from all sides, whistling through the air. But this is no enemy ambush. The weapons are being brandished by the pistons and loudly scraping gears of a giant mechanism. The spear that saved the commander was so rusted in its piston that it is no longer able to move. The party has found itself in the heart of a giant metal flower, growing up out of the ashy quagmire covering the floor. The Uranog, built by the forges of the abyss, tries to close its petals, crushing, mashing, and cutting its victims to pieces. But years of lying dormant in the darkness have taken their toll. Its articulations move with a soul-shuddering screech and become easily jammed. The mummified bodies of unlucky Crusaders can still be seen hanging speared on rusted blades. If the commander wants to avoid their fate, he must... Wow. Okay, so we can try to figure out what makes it move. Try to escape by squeezing between the pedals, or break the pistons holding the weapons. Let's try to figure out what makes it move. Even a magical mechanism is still a mechanism. From above, the commander has a good view of the Uranag's inner workings. Large toothed wheels are set into motion by gear shafts. It all becomes clear. If the gear shafts can be jammed, the movement will stop. The commander is almost out of time. Another few minutes and it will all be over. Realizing that simple escape isn't possible, the commander decides to try jamming the Uranag's main mechanism in the heart of the flower. He looks around for something sturdy and finds... Ooh! I wonder if what we do here picks an item for us or sacrifices an item for us, right? Like, what if we can get the hammer, the staff, or the tower shield, and whichever one we pick is the one that we get to keep, or we could get a hammer, a staff, and a tower shield, and whichever one we pick is the one that is destroyed by the machine, and we get the other two. Either way, I think it's kind of cool. So... Which do I think will be more likely? I don't know, honestly. I have almost zero interest in the hammer. I have no interest in the tower shield. The staff does interest me. So if I pick the tower shield and it's good, that's what you get, then that's a worthless item for me, basically. If I pick the hammer and it's a good, that's what you get, then okay, we got a hammer. That's cool. If I pick the staff and that's a good what you get, then that's probably the thing that I want. Alternatively, if it's the thing you pick is the thing you don't get, Let's pick... I think I'm gonna not worry about that at all. I'm gonna pick what I think would work. A big old tower shield thrown down into the gear shafts sounds like it would fuck it up. Let's do that. As she died, the female... Oh no! Not a but thou must. As she died, the female warrior tried to hide behind her tower shield, but it did not save her. The closing petals pinned her to her shield, forevermore fusing them together as one whole. The commander plants his feet against the shield and pushes, trying to dislodge it, but it doesn't move an inch. A staff over the shoulder of a dead monk. Oh no, apparently that wasn't right either. The body of a monk with a staff on his back looks utterly serene. This person knew what was coming and prepared for death. The Uranag's daggers pierced him from all sides, but in doing so they held him fast. His enchanted iron staff is untouched by rust, which is a promising sign. The commander tries to reach the staff, but to do this he needs to grab onto the monk's shoulders and hang from them. It is a risky maneuver, but the ancient mummy remains intact. Even to the touch, the monk's body is flexible and supple, like he is only recently dead. The commander seizes the staff, tosses it into the heart of the Uranag. The staff falls, striking perfectly in the vulnerable spot where the gears close together. With a furious screeching and scraping, the Uranag tries to grind up the staff, and after a few minutes, the staff breaks, disappearing into the bowels of the mechanism. No! Alright, hammer in the hands of the Paladin. God damn. Like, holy shit. The body of a Paladin, clutching a warhammer in his hands of bone, hangs from one of the Uranag's hammers pointing directly upward. The commander is lucky that this warrior chose to meet his death with weapon in hand. The commander drags the body towards him and grabs the hammer, but the Servant of Light's grip is still surprisingly strong and refuses to relinquish the weapon. The bone arms are easily ripped from the skeleton's shoulders, still holding the hammer. The commander tosses the lot into the heart of the Uranag. Whoop, whoop. The hammer falls, sparking off the gears and getting stuck between them. With a furious screeching and scraping, the Uranag tries to grind up the hammer, but it cannot. A tremor travels up the pedals. There is a deafening cracking sound, and the Uranag stills forever. After carefully extracting themselves from the clutches of the broken Uranag, the commander and his party find themselves up to their knees in ashy sludge once more. But this time, it only harmlessly squelches under their feet as they walk. A dark breach yawns before them, and the cry the commander heard at the entrance of the barrow rises up again. Help me. Since there is no other route, the commander decides to... We'll be good and we'll pray. You would have thought the staff would work? I thought it was good, right? When it said hammer, I didn't think massive warhammer. I thought, like just a hammer, like a, not like a hammer and nails. I still thought it was like a battle hammer, but not like a big, warhammer or anything. So, let's pray for the dead Crusaders. The commander offers up a prayer thanking the Crusaders who helped their fallen soldiers even in death, and asking for forgiveness for not treating their bodies with the respect they deserve. He feels warmth suffuse him, like the dead truly are with him, and are wishing the party good luck in its onward journey. After all its ordeals, the party finally goes up to the surface, and emerges in a small chamber. Pipes protrude from numerous openings dotted all over the walls. They connect to a small box adorned with Baphomet's symbol. The box cries out, producing high, plaintive noises that, when carried through the pipes, begin to sound something like help. The commander knows that this is just another demonic mechanism created to lure Crusaders into the barrow. He smashes the box, scattering small bolts and gears across the room. Silence reigns. There are no secrets left in this place now. Oh! Ay, ay, ay. That was very interesting. I definitely do feel like we maybe got, like, the bad ending, you know? like, like, we did not do all of the things that we should have done correctly. So I am somewhat curious about, like, reloading and seeing if we can make some different choices there. Just because I kind of want to see, you know, what happens if we, maybe, like, if we pilfer from the dead or something. I think depending on what happens, we might stick with what we decided regardless, but... Wow. You think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created? I would not be surprised if that was the case. Okay, so let's try the hammer straight out. Okay, that worked. Let's see if there's anything of value on the Crusaders' bodies. Fencer's gift. What the dead no longer need may prove useful in living. Fortune smiles on him. The party will be leaving the Uranag's cave richer than when it went in. Okay. Fencer's gift. Gold coins. I don't really care about the gold coins, but I do care about the Fencer's gift potential. Newest to oldest. Fencer's gift. Okay. These gloves grant their wearer a +3 damage bonus to the second weapon when dual wielding or wielding a two-handed weapon, melee weapon. If the wearer has the weapon training ability and is wielding a weapon that it gives a bonus to, that bonus increases by +2. That is really good. Oh, I forgot we... Don't fucking do anything. It's annoying. Does this mean it gets... So, like, we have weapon training scythes or whatever, right? Does this mean it would go up? Wait, I don't even think we have weapon training scythe. Oh, it's not weapon training, it's weapon focus. Weapon training is a... Isn't that like a fighter ability? Or feat option? I don't remember. Either way, plus 3 damage is nice, and there's no one else to really put this on at the moment. We could put it on someone like Woljif, right? Or God, I can't remember the dwarf guy's name. Either of those could do fine, but we'll just put it on Sela for now. And I do think, I mean, it's nice to be healed by the peeps, but I bet there was something else that that actually did. But whatever, I don't care. We go! I think we're gonna try to get to the heart of mysteries now. I'm assuming it's gonna be from up here. Him. I don't really have any interest in just fighting enemies out in the wild. We've got plenty of other fighting to do. So yeah, this is... Let's see if we can... Oh, right, we can't... We can sneak back past regular enemies. We cannot sneak past forts. Which makes sense. So we have to come crack this fort. And it's kind of a nasty little fort. There's a lot going on here. So we might have to come back for the... That's interesting. Okay, yeah, I'll bite. I'm very curious as to why this is still saying that there's something going on. The shame the Bell of Mercy would burn me if I touched it, but I feel drawn to it like a moth to a dame? A moth to a dame. Or is it flame? What's the expression? It's definitely flame. It's definitely flame, Arushale. To a flame, Arushale. A moth is drawn to a flame. I'm sorry. I should not have corrected you. I hope you are not offended. Odis, babodis, baboyo bean. Alright, we're gonna try... Location is not available. Huh. Alright, fine, whatever. I think at this point, so we would have to bring forces down here. We've got a lot to do back at the capital. The only thing else to do is to maybe come back around to the old Sarkorian mines. So we could do that, but it's gonna take a whole day just to get down there. That's almost as much time as it would take to like come down there from Dresden. So I think we just teleport back to Dresden, and we go from there. So let's do... We're gonna move the Shadowhawks around, and then we will do that. Let's fight! Oh no! Oh no! This is real bad. Oh. Best we could. That 39's gonna kill so many people, it's gonna be insane. Fucking hate that. That's so dumb. I hate that so much, how badly that hurts. Okay. So we're actually all right now. Nice. Wow, I'm very surprised that that went as well as it did. Oh, you look so sleepy. Boy, oh, Bean. You not having a good evening? You look really tired. Aw, that poor boy. That poor boy. Go to bed, sleepyhead. Go to bed, you sleepyhead. Don't touch my stuff. Poop face. Don't touch my stuff, you poop face. Don't you do it. Don't you fucking do it. The reeking, blood-smeared lair of rift drakes is filled with bones intermingled with treasures. These were not valuable for the monsters, but those fiends couldn't control their greed. Finance points plus 5,000. Nice. Alright, it's time to head to this guy, I guess. God. No other real way to accomplish what we're doing there. Nice. Very cool. Temper it in the blood of wild predators. Temper in sacred poisons. Temper in mountain winds? That just sounds cool. How do you temper mountain winds into an axe? Fuck yeah. Okay, well, let's see what these actually do. So Executioner of Evil would be a Radiant +2. So Radiant weapon is imbued with life essence and deals an extra 1d6 points of positive energy damage on a successful hit. So Radiant is probably a pretty good call against, you know, what we're mostly facing, which is demons and undead. Corrosive Burst. 1d6 acid. I would say unlikely to be super useful because most of the demons have fire, lightning, acid resistance, right? Not always unuseful though. And then Corrosive Burst functions as a corrosive weapon that also explodes with acid with a successful critical hit. The acid does not harm the wielder. In addition to the 1d6 acid damage from the corrosive, a Corrosive Burst weapon deals an extra 1d10 on a successful critical. If the weapon's critical multiplier is ×3, it's 2d10. If it's ×4, it's 3d10. You can see tempering it in the waters of a clear mountain hot spring, but I don't know how the wind would work, right? Like, I'm imagining there's some, like, forge in the mountaintops, and, you know, they have these, like, this open cavern that narrows down, and the wind blows into that cavern, and it gets narrower and narrower, and it leads into, like, the bellows of the forge, right? So it's like the very wind of the mountain itself is what powers the like fury of the forge itself. But other than that, I cannot really think of a way that would work. But okay, so this would be a ×3 weapon, so it would do 2d10, so 1d6 all the time, and then on a critical hit, it would do 2d10 plus an additional 1d6. This actually has a lot of shit going on. Hold on. the Scorpion's Kiss. But did the other one have special properties as well that I was ignoring? Yes, it did. So, okay. It's radiant, it's +2, but it's also, whenever you confirm a critical hit, you absorb part of magical essence, dispelling one random spell up to 5th level on the target. So, wow, you actually, like, you can like, cut magical enchantments from your target. That's kind of badass, actually. Okay. And then the Scorpion's Kiss is you have a +3 bonus to attack rolls when performing attacks of opportunity. Your critical threat range is doubled. If you successfully land an attack of opportunity, the enemy must pass a Fortitude saving throw DC 17 or become paralyzed. DC 17 is pretty low, so unlikely to really matter. When you are hit by an enemy's attack of opportunity, the enemy must pass a Reflex saving throw DC 15, again pretty low, or suffer 2d6 acid damage. That's really cool. It's just kind of low DCs for it to matter. Pretty neat, though. Temper in Mountain Winds. I'm so interested to see what's going to happen here. So, looks like it is just a +2 enhancement. Ah. Interesting. Okay, Executioner of Evil has a you crit on 20s. Scorpion's Kiss has you crit on 19s and 20s. Gravesinger has you crit on 18, 19s, and 20s. And with the Gravesinger, if you become paralyzed, staggered, stunned, petrified, or entangled, you take damage, but then you immediately remove the effect. That's pretty neat. That is pretty damn neat, actually. I am unsure here. I say I'm unsure here, but I think the general safer one is to go Executioner of Evil, right? It does radiant damage, which is pretty decent all around. It does it dispels things. The only thing is if this is the final form of the weapon, yay, cool. It's basically useless to me, right? Like, because it's a +2, we're already trying to use like +3s and +4s. Like we have the scythe we have right now is a +4, right? And while these abilities are interesting, I don't think they make up overall for that type of situation. So, if this is just a stepping stone, though, I think it could be really neat. And I actually like all of these different variations. I do think this is very cool. We are going to go with what I feel is kind of like this somewhat, this is just normal, typical stuff, right? But the Radiant and the ability to potentially like dispel buffs is pretty neat. So we'll go for the Executioner of Evil. And Hope, right? The hope is that this is just stage 1 in the Executioner of Evil's life. Right? Because we've done the first part of the Unholy Symbol of Rovagug. Then we did this part. Maybe there will be a third part to upgrade it further. Many legends tell of heroes' weapons acquiring magical powers after touching the blood of monsters. The axe might possess the dark seal of the destroyer, but this weapon can also serve a good cause. The bladesmith took the weapon and went to the wastelands to slaughter wild monsters and harden the blade with their blood. When the blade began to shine like the sun in a looking glass, and its mere touch drank the life from monsters, the bladesmith returned and ceremoniously presented the commander with the cleansed weapon. Pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I feel like we just go ahead and start this then. Basically, right? Like, yeah. Alright. That being said, I think this is going to be where we end this episode for the night. So, if you're watching on Twitch, stick around. We are going to keep playing. If you're watching on YouTube, hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time for more Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.